So, from manufacturer to ultimate consumer, the main link in our economic system are the salesmen. Salesmen. Salesmen.
Hey everybody, I'm Clint. Welcome to the Salesman's Guide to Beer and Business. Today we have somebody with over 20 years of experience. We also have somebody who has lost 140 pounds. That is sheer motivation. Today we have Jim Noble. Jim, thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you, Clint, man. I appreciate coming on here and can't wait to get this going.
Yeah, man. So let's dive into the beer. Today I am drinking Public House, their Elusive. When I was picking this up, I mean, everybody knows I pick it out by the can. For some weird reason, I have an obsession with foxes. It caught my eye. I was in love at first sight. And then I started looking into it, and it is a smooth, earthy, bright Indian Pale Ale.
Sounds fancy.
You know, you can't go wrong. You've got an Indian Pale Ale. It's got 6.8% alcohol. There's a fox on the can. What could go wrong?
Nothing.
And today we are doing something different because Jim here does not like IPAs.
I'm sorry.
And I didn't know this, but he's actually drinking something from Boulevard, which is fairly local. It's in Kansas City, Missouri. It is the Steep Drop. It's a nitro coffee milk stout. Jim, we had one before this aired.
It's true.
What are your opinions on that? I mean, give me some opinions on what you think of that beer.
I think it's pretty good, man. It's kind of like a little, it's a stout, so you get a little bit of that Guinness, but it's also got some coffee taste in there, and I actually quite enjoyed it. And got to be honest, I only had one of these, but I'm feeling like I've had 4 or 5 beers already. So
oh, wow.
Can't complain about that.
No, absolutely not. Everybody loves a cheap drunk.
Yeah, heck yeah. And I didn't even read on the can. It says invert the can 3 times first. So I'm going to do that on this one because I feel like there's some kind of magic involved in this.
Okay, we're going to invert the can 3 times. Then I'm going to have you pour it in this glass so we can see it.
It says you have to steep pour it 180 degrees for anybody out there listening.
180 degrees. Be precise, people.
It's about 178, but I mean...
we'll call it close enough, right? Wow, and that is truly beautiful, honestly.
It looks really good.
I mean, give the camera a good show. I don't
look at this.
Yeah, I don't want your microphone covering that up.
Yeah, no, take
but
a
I
look
mean
at
that is a nice dark brown beer. And
smells good too.
It being that coffee, that milk stout. I mean, can you taste the coffee? Can you taste the milk in there?
Yes, you can taste both those. It's it almost tastes like a Guinness with a shot of espresso in there. Is the best way I can describe it.
Wow. See, and I've never been just a huge Guinness fan. I mean, if I'm doing car bombs, I do them right. I do them with Guinness. But I'm not a stout drinker, and I can't drink this stuff. I mean, honestly, I probably could suffer through it, but I'm not I guess you can't call me a real beer drinker because I don't drink stouts.
Well, I love coffee, so
there you go. And I tried this earlier, and I thought it was really good. I could actually drink that, I think, just not very many. I mean, it'd probably be like I could have 1, maybe 2, but after that, I'm going to look for something else.
I think if you drank about 6 of these, you'd probably need a ride home.
If you drank a whole 6-pack, you're going to need to call an Uber.
Definitely.
Everybody, I'm going to go ahead and say this now. If you are driving right now, please drink responsibly. Yes. Don't let the cops ruin a good beer, okay?
That's
just
true.
Keep going. Hit the gas pedal. No, please don't listen to that. That was bad. So let's jump over to this Public House Elusive. I love saying that. Elusive. And it's a really good beer. It's got a good hop taste to it, like most pale ales do. It being 6.8% alcohol, I'm definitely super excited because I don't have to drink a whole lot. They're out of St. James, Missouri, and I mean, this really just has a good flavor to it. I mean, I'm going to crack a new one because that one's
crack one open.
Crack a cold one.
Yeah, and I like lots of beer, man. So I want to like the IPAs. I just every time I drink one, it tastes like I'm drinking lawn clippings. I gotta be honest.
Well, and I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I don't know why, but I've always loved a good IPA. Even before I really knew what IPA stood for. I mean, And what I love about them, I mean, you've always got this massive amount of head on top of the beer. I mean, to me, that just locks in a lot of flavor when you pour it into a glass. I mean, I don't know. That's me. I love a good IPA. I've already decided it's one of my favorites, and I know I'm still new to this whole, craft brew thing. But I mean, this is a good one. I could really drink this a lot. So, cheers to Public House. Y'all are gonna make some money off of me. So Jim, let's talk about this. How did you get your first start in sales?
Well, I actually was doing telemarketing like right at the end of high school and just out of high school. And my ex-father-in-law owned an RV dealership. He hired me on. I started cleaning campers. It was just about the time the internet started kind of becoming a big thing, and I talked him into setting a website up and doing some internet stuff. And I did that for about 6 months or so, and learned a lot about RVs just by putting them on the internet. And one day he hit me up and said, "Hey, go out and sell a camper." I went out. I was terrified. I went out and talked to a customer, sold a $60,000 fifth wheel right then and there,
Wow.
and the rest is history.
Wow, that's awesome. So you kind of got into it with family ties and kind of being in the background and got thrown into sales?
Yes, yep. Which, yeah, definitely. I definitely got a good opportunity to go out and try to do something, and I'm very happy for that chance.
So in that moment, what was your biggest fear going into that sales position, being on the background of things? What was your biggest fear being that salesperson?
Screwing up and losing a potential sale for, the betterment of the company. I mean, I've always been highly focused on trying to be really successful myself and being the best, but also my surrounding company that I work for. I always want to make sure that I'm doing them justice, and that's probably my biggest fear. I mean, just being worried that I'd go out there and screw something up.
Well, and I mean, even for me, sorry, we smoked too many cigarettes before this episode. No, I mean, even with me, I was always afraid that I was going to offend somebody. Mm-hmm. And I come from cars, and with cars, I always had that fear that I was going to go out there and just piss somebody off for asking them how their day was.
Right.
And that is the stupidest to me now that I think back on it. But I mean, like at the time, that was probably one of my biggest fears. I was like, I'm going to go out there and he's going to like sucker punch me in the face. It won't happen. It hasn't happened yet.
Never seen that yet. No.
I don't care what you see on the news. That guy didn't get robbed that hard. Okay.
Hey, do you want to buy a camper? Bam.
Just no. Oh. So what's your favorite part of being in sales?
My favorite part of what I do in sales is helping people, and I'm not just saying this, it's helping people find what they're looking for. Sometimes people don't know what they're looking for, sometimes they do. I really enjoy getting to have someone come in, ask questions, and I get to learn about them, what they're looking for, and to find a match. You're finding a match. You've got this customer, you've got whatever product it is you're selling, and to be able to combine the two, it's just a satisfying thing for me. I love it. I love getting to have a happy person walk away with, something that they came in that they wanted. I love that.
Well, and that was always me. And I've what little we've talked before, we are on the same plane as far as it comes to wanting to know everything about the product to be able to sell the customer better.
Definitely.
And it's not even selling, it's to teach and educate the customer on what they're looking at, you know? Because just with campers, with cars, with motorcycles, boats even, I mean, you can show a customer 10 different products. Doesn't matter what it is. If you're not explaining what each product is and how different they are and how the layouts are different or the technology is different, it doesn't matter because you're not doing your job at that point.
Yeah, I feel if you don't know your product, whatever it is you're selling, it could be cars, campers, boats, anything, whatever it is you're selling, if you don't know your product, you are doing your customer a disservice because they're coming to you as an expert, they're looking to you as an expert, and if you don't know what you're selling, you're not doing them a justice. So that's,
absolutely
definitely how I feel about that.
I mean, with me being in cars and from where I started, I mean, I would go out there in the very beginning and just lose it. I mean, I would just be so nerve-ridden just freaking out that this customer's going to punch me or something, But I would just be so obsessed that I'm going to offend them, or they're going to hurt me, or I'm just going to completely piss them off, lose the sale for the entire company, that I was like, I want to be able to answer every question anybody could ever have.
Well, there's a confidence that goes with that. When you know your product, you are confident about it, and when you're listening to your customer and you're meeting their needs, you know that you're finding what they need. I mean, a lot of times I have, we have it set up where we generally show people 3 campers. I generally, when I'm talking to a customer and listen to their needs, I know my product. I normally hit the first camper, 80% of the time, the first one I show them is the one that they end up buying. And that comes with, experience, but product knowledge. I mean, if I didn't know what we had, I'm just going to go out and walk around and be a tour guide. So
exactly, and I mean, don't get me wrong. For newer salespeople, being a tour guide isn't always bad, but once you start getting a little more seasoned, you really need to be able to know your products and be able to explain the different features, the functions, the benefits of those products. I mean, you've got to be able to know how to do that. And with that, I mean, that was where I always shined. And I feel like that's where you always shine too. You knew your products. You knew what was coming out, what was going to come out, how quick you could expect those newer products versus when they discontinued old products. I mean, having that kind of knowledge, I mean, is insane. And I wish I had that much as you. You've got 20 years of experience. So, I mean, that was always me. I wanted to be the best at my dealership, just like I'm sure a lot of salespeople do.
Sure.
But I don't think anybody could be the best without product knowledge.
Sure, absolutely. Well, and not just on your, you can learn your own product and be highly successful, but it's also learning the competition. Because, when they have a trade-in, if you know exactly what their trade is, or at least have some sort of idea what it is, you can refer that to, well, yeah, you guys have this 315 RLTS Jayco Eagle that may sound like complete Latin to somebody. But when you know that, the kind of floor plan that they have, you can gauge off of that. And if you don't know that, that's okay too. You can still inquire from the customer and try to learn about what they have or what they're looking for, but it helps. Every little bit helps.
Yeah, no, and I agree with that 100%. Because, I mean, talking more cars, bikes, boats, it doesn't matter. If you know your competitors' brands and you know what you're up against, either before sale or after sale, to compare what they want to buy, it's going to help you out tremendously to know your competitors.
Absolutely.
I mean, I always tried to learn, the difference, because don't get me wrong, I don't know if y'all could tell, I'm diehard a Ram truck fan.
I didn't know that.
I am a diehard Chrysler, Fiat automobiles. I mean, that's what I do. I drive a Jeep right now. So with that, I always wanted to learn, the different trucks. So I learned about Ford and learned about Chevy and Toyota and Nissan. Like I had to know my competitors to be able to say, this is why my product is better.
Sure.
And I always loved knowing those features that, we excelled at in the Ram world and where we got our butts kicked at, with the other products. And you don't bring those, those features up. But.
Right. Well, and I think that's a good point that you made there too about, knowing the competition's product and being able to show your customer what's better. I think that's where a lot of people don't apply that extra time and knowledge, because when you know different features, you don't want to just come up and say, like, guy comes in and says he's looking for a truck and he's looking at a Toyota and you sell Chevy and you say, oh man, Toyota sucks. I think a lot of new salespeople kind of have that, and they may not say it specifically like that, but you don't ever want to bash someone's product. That's one of the biggest no-nos in sales, where people will bash another dealer or bash another product. And when a customer sees that, even if they don't come off like they're put off by that, they're put off by that. So you want to explain, like, that's great, Chevy's got this, or whatever brand, they've got that, that's a great feature, but check out this on the Dodge, So that's a big key of knowing your product.
Yeah. So that just made me think of an awesome story we had. So where I worked at, I was at a Chrysler dealership. You could go 20 miles in any direction and hit another Chrysler dealership.
Ooh.
So it was a hard sell because
Yeah.
you always heard, oh, I'm going to go down the street, or I'm going to go over here, or I've already been over there. I heard it all the time. And we had this one couple come in, and it was crazy because they called us on the phone. They said, hey, do you have this kind of vehicle on the lot?
Mm-hmm.
We said, absolutely. Of course. Come see us. They got there. We showed it to them, and they're in the finance office with me, and they were just like, so let me tell you a quick story because I feel like you need to know it.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason we're here today is because we were talking to the salesman at this other dealership 20 miles away,
Mm-hmm.
and they told us that they couldn't beat our prices.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, as a salesperson, what were you thinking?
Yeah. Bye.
You just lost
Yeah.
a customer.
Just lost a customer.
and
That's
and
crazy.
I was baffled by that. They were just like, yeah, we can't beat their prices at all. Why would you tell your customer that?
Yeah. Why would you ever say that? Yeah.
I mean, like, I totally get it if you're in a negotiation situation
Sure.
and, like, you're going back and forth between two dealers and they're promising you more stuff, whatever. This was an upfront comment. We can't beat their prices. Sorry.
Well, and that comes to a good point because a lot of times you can't beat someone's prices. So if you end it with that, yeah, you just lost a sale. So, you're going to have to back that up with like, look, those guys are very competitively priced. We're going to get as close as we can, but let me explain to you why we're a little more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to have some kind of sales pitch there when you're talking to a customer. There's got to be some reason you're more expensive. If not, you're going to go out of business. I mean, you got to, okay, well, they're a little bit less than us, but listen, we do this, this, and this. I mean, that's,
Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, and that's where it comes into building the value in
Right.
yourself,
Yep.
not only in the product, because you should have done that already,
Right.
but build value in yourself. And I mean, with these people, obviously that salesperson was either new or just having a bad day or did not care. I hope you're watching because I almost sent you guys flowers. So to finish that story, that we signed them up and everything. Within an hour of them leaving, another guy comes in. Their friend who was shopping for a truck.
Wow.
They were looking at like a Jeep Cherokee. I can't remember. It's been a couple years.
Mm-hmm.
And he come in and said, so I was at this other dealership, and then my buddy called me and said, we got a way better deal down here at our dealership.
Mm-hmm.
And he asked the sales guy. Same sales guy said, yeah, we can't beat their price. He came down and bought from us.
Wow.
I was like,
That
you
is-
lost 2 sales in one day because you cannot stop worrying about your competition.
Well, and not only that they lose those 2 sales, those people, those customers are going to go tell other people. Word of mouth is a big part of business that people, I don't think they kind of take that for granted. You got
Absolutely.
You got the internet as the main source of sales anymore, but you got billboards, newspapers, radio ads, whatever you got. You're paying all this money for all that advertisement. Word of mouth is one of the best sources of advertisement, and it's free. So.
Absolutely. And I mean, that was always what I always heard when I was in sales and trying to grow myself and try and be better in my field was you've got to call and ask for those referrals. You've got to call and say, hey, that follow up. And
Well, with the other dealership, you don't have to. You just go over there
Yeah,
and talk
just-
to George over there, and
Yeah.
there's our referral guy.
well, and it's funny you say that because after that day, I mean, it would be periodically. We'd probably have 1 or 2 a month that they would actually send to us that way. And I did. I talked to the GM and I was like, would it be rude if I sent them flowers
Oh, yeah,
thanking them
no.
for the sales? And he was like, yes. The only reason we didn't is because they would trade with us. Like,
Oh, okay.
So
Well, and they're sending you business.
yeah, they're sending us business. We don't want to make them mad. But I really did. I really wanted to send that guy flowers and be like, thank you for the 2 sales you sent me on this date.
Wow.
Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so send their regards. Like I really did. And I want to say I ended up calling one of the managers saying, hey, I don't know who this guy is, but he's affecting your business.
big time.
You need to like teach him or kick him out or something. I don't know. It was a bad deal.
Yeah. So
But-
so people out there listening, if you're in sales, don't do that.
Yeah. Point of the story, what Jim was saying, don't put down another dealer.
Right.
And And I mean, that's a big thing. Don't put down another brand. Figure out why your brand is better.
Yep.
You know, whether it's campers, bikes, cars,
Whatever.
boats, whatever you're selling, make sure you know the objections when they bring up a different brand, and be able to overcome those objections with confidence.
Right.
I mean, I can think of like 4 off the top of my head when it comes to Ram trucks. I know my trucks in and out like nobody's business. I don't want to go into a big spiel because I could. I so could. It's second nature to me, and that's what it should be. It should be second nature to you why your competitors have a lesser product than you.
Absolutely.
So Jim, we talked about this in your intro. You've lost 140 pounds.
Yes, I sure did.
Okay, so how did you do that? I mean, I've looked at the pictures, and if you don't mind, I'm going to post one right here,
Sure.
right now.
There it is.
Okay,
That's
so-
Fat Jim, and this is not Fat Jim.
And this is not Fat Jim. So, Jim, how did you do that?
Well, I want to premise this with telling you that a lot of people come up and ask me that when they find out that I've lost a bunch of weight. They'll say, "Man, how did you lose that much weight?" And I really thoroughly enjoy telling people, it's really easy, guys. I ate well and worked out, and you would be just shocked at the look on people's faces when I tell them that. There's not some magic secret. I didn't take some magic bean or have surgery or do some crazy, I didn't go into a back alley and buy some magic pill. I started watching when I ate. I used to eat a lot of fast food, man. Pizza. I mean, everybody loves that stuff, but I stopped doing that, started eating healthy, and started working out, and that's it. It's that easy. I mean, it really is.
Well, and I mean, with that alone, I've always been somebody who knows what it takes to either lose weight or gain weight. So, and I hate to brag because I know some people think this is bragging. I've always had trouble gaining weight. I could eat whatever I wanted as a kid. I could, heck, when I was 25, I could eat no matter what. I would not gain a pound unless I forced myself to eat.
Right.
And I don't know if that's metabolism or if I don't know.
I've done a lot of research on this stuff throughout the years, losing weight and trying to figure out different things. I think some people have a better metabolism, but a lot of people blame it on genetics. Like, I'm just overweight because it's genetics. That is not true. There's a few rare cases out there that's true, but people like to make excuses. So when you're heavy and you're a little overweight or you're a lot overweight, people want to make an excuse, and I honestly feel that a lot of times you're self-medicating yourself, and you can do the same with beer or drugs, or there's a lot of things you can self-medicate yourself. But my situation, reflecting back on it, man, we've all gone through some rough stuff. I had some rough times in my life, and I was depressed, and I was supplementing that depression with food. And, because you eat a bowl of ice cream or a cheeseburger or a pizza, whatever, it increases dopamines in your brain and makes you feel happy. And it's a temporary happiness. But that's where a lot of people get, addicted to food. They're not necessarily hungry, but they're sad, and they end up, eating food to supplement. It's medicine. So, kind of learning that, I think one of the biggest things that I learned throughout the process was food is fuel. It's not, you can splurge every now and then, but it's, food is fuel. So if you're eating cupcakes and pizza and you're eating all this processed stuff as your main source of food, you're not feeding your body. You're not eating fuel. You're storing fat.
Yeah, no, and 100% on that, because I mean, what I learned is I had to put the right nutrients, the right food in me to be able to grow. And it's the same with trying to lose weight. And it's crazy how that works, because it's not about an amount, it's about the right stuff.
Right. I always try to look at when I go to the grocery store. I heard this somewhere along the way, and I don't remember where, but when you go into the grocery store and you're shopping, you want to get all of, if not most of your food on the perimeter of the grocery store. You've got the eggs, milk, all that kind of stuff, meats, all those things on the perimeter, fruits and vegetables. That's real food. The stuff that's in the middle aisles is not food. If you broke it down, we were talking about this yesterday, and if you broke it down and read the ingredients on some of that stuff, man, you're not going to eat half that stuff if someone set soy lectin or xanthan gum in front of you, you're going to be like, what is this disgusting stuff? But when you buy foods that are processed and prepackaged, it's all in there. And they do a lot of that stuff to cheapen the cost of food and make it taste good. But, it's not food.
Yeah, it's not food. And I mean, like you were saying, that processed food and even processed sugars, they're all to be preserved to make it last longer.
Yep.
Yet they still have an expiration date.
Yes. Yep.
So don't get me started.
Oh yeah, yeah. We can go on for hours about this. But bottom line is, guys, if you're looking to lose weight out there, if you're struggling like I was and like a lot of people are, and you're like, oh man, I just wish I could lose weight. Do some research, eat healthy, and work. You don't have to go crazy working out. Walk. If you're feeling like you got 20, 30, 50 pounds to lose, and you just don't know where to start, just start walking. You don't have to go out and start doing crazy cardio stuff. Just start walking a little bit, and and watching what you eat, and you'd be surprised at how much weight you lose.
No, and absolutely, that's a more true statement than anything. There is no magic pill. There is no supreme diet. Eat right, exercise. It will happen. Mm-hmm. And it's not going to happen overnight. And
No.
I think so many people get discouraged when they go to the gym twice and they're like, oh, I lost a pound.
Well, that was a big thing for me. We all set goals. So where I started out at, I was 305 pounds. I got down to 165. If I would have set out at that 305 and been like, I want to weigh 165, I would have failed. I know I would have. I would have been overwhelmed and said, oh, I'm eating good, I'm working out. It's so far away. But I looked at it like I want to get under 300. I want to get to 290. I want to get to 270. I set little tiny goals and went that way. And I never had an end goal really in mind. I just knew I wanted to be healthy on that, So I just kept to the little goals and I didn't reward myself. A lot of our society is set up to reward ourselves with food. When you have kids' birthday parties, there's cake. When you have a wedding, you're getting cake. When you're doing parties, there's always, Super Bowl party, you get buffalo dip and chicken wings and pizza.
Cake.
Yeah, and cake. So our society is just set up in that way where when we celebrate, because we're having a good time, let's have even a better time by eating a bunch of sugar or food. And then, the dopamines and endorphins go off in your head and you're like, oh, I'm happy. So I didn't ever celebrate myself when I was going through that with food. I just didn't.
No, see, and I never did either. Like I was never a big eater, and I know that's why I always had a problem gaining weight. Mm-hmm. Because, like I said, I could eat anything, but I was never hungry.
Right.
Like I was eating because, okay, we're sitting down at a family meal.
Clint's an alien, guys.
I'm an alien. I come in peace. It's okay. But no, I mean, like when I decided I wanted to gain weight and I wanted to be in shape and I wanted to be healthy, I did my research. I actually became a personal trainer to learn how to do it correctly. And I mean, so much is in what we eat every day. And I hate to say it, beer is not that healthy
beer is
for
not
you,
good.
but it's so delicious.
It's okay to splurge every now and then. That's the thing too.
You got to splurge. You got to pick your poisons. And at the same time, like you were talking about earlier, with tiny goals, you obviously need to set a big goal at first.
Sure.
But don't expect that to happen so quickly. You want to set your smaller goals in between there because you've got to think big picture.
Right.
Big picture is I want to be healthy and in a normal way.
Yeah. And take time to, I think a lot of times in our field especially, and you can relate this to weight loss and sales, we set these big goals and then we do set the little goals. And I think sometimes people don't appreciate those little goals enough.
Yeah.
I think sometimes, the big goal is such the focus that when you get that little goal, celebrate. Pat yourself on the back or pat your buddy on the back, like, great job, man. It's not easy to lose 10 pounds. So when you lose that 10 pounds and you got 40 more to do, don't stress about that other 40, pat yourself on the back and say, I did good losing this 10 pounds and enjoy that.
Absolutely.
Enjoy that.
Absolutely.
Same with sales. If your goal is to sell 20 cars or 20 campers and, you're on stride and you got 5 sold right now and you're on pace, celebrate that 5, man. Don't freak out about that other 15 you got to sell to get your end goal. Celebrate that 5. Like, all right, I did good getting to that 5. I'm going to celebrate this moment and move forward. Don't dwell on that because it's a negative thing that happens a lot in sales where people don't. It's like not really talked about as a negative thing. It's okay. Yeah, you got that 5 now. Let's go. What'd you do for me now? You know, I think that gets looked at a lot in sales.
Yeah, no, and with that, you know, when we're talking about these tiny goals, we know our end game. We know where we want to be at the, you know, first of the month, end of the month, at the first time we step on the scale to the last time we want to step on the scale, whatever it is, you know, those little goals, like you're saying, you've got to celebrate them, and hopefully not with food or, you know, slacking off, whatever it may be. Those little goals are so important to keep your confidence up, to keep you motivated, to keep you going in the right direction. Because the minute you say, well, I wanted to hit 20 this month, I know I'm at 15, we got 4 days left, man, that's all I'm going to get. I'm done. You know, I did good. I wish I could have got to 20. You can't do that.
No.
You've got to push hard.
And I think we talked about this before. One key thing there to look at is, you know, at the end of the day, I always do this. At the end of the day, when you get off work or you're done doing whatever it is, whatever, you know, you're doing, at the end of the day, if you can look at yourself and say, look in the mirror, did you do the best job you can do today? And be honest with yourself. You know, you're not having to try to impress somebody else or, you know, whatever. When you look in the mirror at the end of the day and you say, did I do the best job I can do today? And if you can look in the mirror and say that truly, sometimes you're not going to get a sale. Sometimes you're not going to lose those 5 pounds. But if you can look at yourself in the mirror and say that, you're eventually going to get to those goals that you want. It's okay to fail sometimes. It's okay if you wanted to sell 20 and you sold 17, you know, but you did everything you could to sell those 17. You know you worked your butt off to get there. Don't look at that as a defeat. Look at that as, you know what? I busted my butt. I got to 17. I wanted 20, but you know what? I busted my butt. I know I did what I had to do. I know I did my best. Celebrate that. You know, don't look at that as a failure.
Absolutely. And I mean, if you can look yourself in the mirror, and I think we've talked about this. Okay, so let me go ahead and break it down. We have previously recorded an episode and we're trying to remember everything we talked about. The audio and video just stopped miraculously.
But it wasn't a failure.
It wasn't a failure.
We did the best we can do.
We did the best we could do.
Now we're moving on.
So we've had the same conversation before, and I love for us to be able to rekindle that. Thank you, Jim.
Cheers, man.
Okay, no, like I was saying, so you've just got to keep pressing on. There is no giving up when you're so close. And even if you don't hit your goal, like Jim was saying, if you hit 17 and your goal was 20, obviously grind out to the very last second.
Yeah, don't give up.
You've got to.
Yep.
But when it's over and done with, don't kick yourself while you're down.
Right.
You did everything you could. You can honestly say that in your head. I did it all.
Mm-hmm.
I called every customer. I followed up. I asked for referrals. I made sure all my customers were happy. You did a great job.
Yep.
There's nothing to be down about.
There's nothing to be down about. Now, if you didn't do everything and you got that close to your goal, reevaluate and say, you know what? I wanted 20. I got 17. Maybe I slacked off this day and, you know, I shouldn't have done this that day. If you can look at yourself then and say, you know, yeah, be honest with yourself, man. Like, you know, I screwed off a little bit on this day or whatever. Then hey, you know you're close and you know where you need to focus to move forward.
Exactly. You in situations like that, you're not bullshitting anybody but yourself.
Right. Absolutely.
So you have to make that commitment. Really, I mean, honestly, you are the only person who that matters to besides obviously your dealership. But I mean, like, you are the person who's wasting their time every day. If you're coming in, not making the phone calls, not following up with customers, not, you know, treating everybody or hiding from lot ups, whatever it is, if you're not the one trying to make a sale, you're the one who's causing somebody else not to.
Well, and like, you know, yeah, as salespeople, we're generally, if you're a good salesperson, you're normally a good bullshitter. So, but at the end of the day, don't bullshit yourself. You know, look in the mirror. If you can't talk to yourself truthfully, then you got some other issues that probably need to be looked into. But don't bullshit yourself, man. Be real with yourself. Be honest with yourself, which you should be real and honest with your customers too if you want to really succeed. Mm-hmm. But don't bullshit yourself. Look at yourself and say, you know what? Okay, I could have done a little bit more work. I could have tried a little bit harder, and I'm going to do that to get. I know I'm close, but if you did all that and you tried and you busted your butt, don't take that as a defeat. Just it's okay. You did it. You kicked butt.
That's 100% right there. 100%. All right, Jim. So us dragging this out, talking about, how you've lost the weight and how you stay motivated to keep the weight off, obviously. I mean, because you're still in great shape. How do you stay on your grind? I mean, what gets you motivated every day?
Oh man, it's still just I've always been very competitive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just a competitive individual. So different days motivate me with different things, but I strive to be the best at everything I do, and whether it's as far as the sales part of stuff, as far as the healthy stuff and to maintain the weight, I really just kind of changed my entire. You hear a lot of people say that, and it kind of almost agitates me when I hear other people say that. So I hate to say that, but
say it.
But I have a different perspective. I changed the way I ate. So yeah, every now and then, man, I'll eat a slice of pizza or something. I splurge a little more now that I've maintained the weight. But don't. I'm drunk. Sorry.
No, it's
Seriously.
okay. I understand what you're saying, and I mean, like, we were talking about this earlier. You've got to reward yourself for the small achievements. You've got to reward yourself for the big achievements, and it's okay once you've hit a happy spot to maintain.
Right.
I hate that as sales advice because I want you to always be going up.
Sure.
But don't get me wrong, like, if you are in a happy position where you're selling 30 to 40 cars a month, campers, boats, RVs, whatever it is you're selling, if you're selling makeup, if you have hit that happy plane where you're satisfied, plateau.
Yeah.
I mean, let it go. And when you become unsatisfied, please skyrocket again.
Right.
I mean, don't ever let it just be a satisfaction forever.
Right. You don't want to become complacent because that's if you become complacent in it, that's my look on it. You don't want to become complacent. But yeah, if you're hitting your goals now, you're the guy that, you had the goals of 20, you hit that 30, 40. You're this guy that's just kicking butt and hitting 30 to 40 or whatever your goals are, and you're top dog and you're just doing it. It is tough, because me personally, and I think a lot of people, I enjoy the underdog position. I do. I love being the underdog. I love when someone tells me I can't do something.
And then you do it.
And then you do it. That's motivation for me. You tell me I can't do it, I'm going to do it, just to piss you off.
Yep.
So I use that a lot for motivation. But when you kind of come to that top spot, yeah, it's tough because now you got a target on your back, but you can look at that as motivation too. Like, I kind of take pride in that, what I'm doing right now is not the salesperson. I'm doing the internet stuff, but when I was salesperson, I was number one every month, and I knew there was a target on my back, but I took it more. I'm a little cocky. I think a lot of salespeople are, but I took it more of like, I'd go around and start stuff with people just in a joking way. I'm not over there hurting anybody's feelings or anything, but like, yeah, number one again. And when I actually moved positions, I went over and said, I said to another guy, hey, you can have your number one spot back. So, I took it more like, I took it more like that when I was number one of like, I'm number one. I know I'm number one and I'm not going to let up on that. Mm-hmm. And I that's a tough thing though, because a lot of people, when they're first getting into that number one spot, it's exciting and they're pumped up, but yeah, it's like it's a pressure now of like, I have to, you get number one guy and you're setting all your goals. People expect that from you now. So it is some pressure there of like, oh crap, I gotta maintain this, or, now that you're selling 20, nobody's impressed with that. Like, oh yeah, he sells 20 every month. So, now you sell 20 and people expect it. There's no great job or, you're not getting that. So you kind of have to push yourself at that point of just saying like, hey, that's right. I'm just going to continue keeping on doing this. And you can set goals more and more too. I mean, you can say, okay, I want to do 30, but I think more just having some bragging rights for me personally is kind of, that's right. I'm number one. I'm going to stay number one. And, mm-hmm. Confidence. I mean, to a little point of cockiness.
I mean, everybody has that little bit of cockiness. If you're in sales and you don't have that,
yeah.
I mean, you need to learn out and figure out where it is, because that's what I feel like made me a better salesman, when I got a little bit cocky.
Yep.
Not too much.
Yeah, not
I've
too
been
much.
there too.
Yeah. Yep.
But no, like with me and my old dealership, I was salesman of the year 2 years in a row.
Nice.
I stayed salesman of the month unless I took a vacation or something.
So what kept you on that, Clint? I want to ask you that. You asked me a lot of questions. What kept you as number one over and over? What motivated you there at that point?
my motivation, obviously, entirely, what was being able to support me and my new wife. I wanted us to be able to have a child, have a life, have a house, have nice cars, nice things, and it sounds materialistic, and I promise you I'm not that super materialistic person, but I wanted to be able to have the freedom to do anything I wanted to.
Right.
And what me and my wife are working on now is trying to have a kid. We want to have a child. And I want to be able to do that and walk in with cash and throw it at the doctor and be like, boom, I have cash. I don't need a credit card. I don't need a debit card.
What's your best cash price for this
What's
baby?
your best cash price for this delivery, okay? Okay.
Can you cut me a deal?
I don't need an epidural, bro. Like, come on. Yeah, she'd kill me if she heard that. But no, seriously, like that's my goal. I want to be able to have,
awesome, man.
A couple kids. I want us to have a nice house with lots of land so they can run around and play in the field, because that's what I grew up on. I grew up on, a 13-acre house, and it was really nice, way out in the country. I want to be able to give that to my kids because I know what it did for me.
Right.
It makes you respect the inner city but love the country.
Sure, absolutely. That's awesome, man.
So that's my goal and my innovation. I want to be able to not worry about the big changes in life.
Sure.
I've got friends and I've got family that, they're having kids and they're struggling with bills and the sleepless nights, and I don't want to have to worry about that.
Yeah. No, life is stressful enough sometimes, and to have those kind of stresses on top of with having a child, man, yeah, that's
no, and
nobody wants that.
I really feel like that is 100% why I had to hustle, and I've got to do it, and I even think long term, I've got stuff in stocks and 401ks and retirement stuff, and I've got a bunch of stuff thanks to my dad who works for a retirement establishment kind of thing. I don't want to blast on that. Copyright infringements.
This part of the broadcast has been blacked out by me.
I love it. But no, he's helped me out a lot, and I mean, like, I'm looking towards the future. I try not to think about today or tomorrow or next month. I try and think about 5 years down the road. I want to be, comfortable then. I'm okay with working my butt off now.
Right. I like that.
I can work 6-7 days a week and long hours, long nights, because right now I don't have anything. I love you, honey. I don't have anything to come home to right now.
Right.
Like when we have a kid,
give this man a baby.
Family, yeah, I mean, seriously. Yeah, seriously. She's gonna kill me when she hears this.
Uh-oh.
But
we're just joking.
We love you. But no, I mean that's what I strive for. I want to have a decent sized family. We're thinking 2 to 3 kids. One, you're just not. You've got one kid. Okay. You need at least 2 so they can fight.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And then, if it was up to her, we would have 6.
Man.
She wants a big family, and I'm slightly okay with that. I'm slightly like she's not going to drive a minivan. So
So we're going to go ahead and get Clint with a Dodge Ram truck and a bunkhouse travel trailer with the slide out, and
yeah.
You going to take the kids camping?
I want to. I really want to go.
I know somebody that can hook you up with a camper.
Jim, can you help me?
I'll help you out, man.
I need a lot of beds.
I will find the perfect camper for you.
Okay. I have $100 budget.
We'll make that work. I know a finance guy who can hook you up.
Heck yeah. Okay. Anyways. Yeah. So that's my motivation. I don't know if anybody else.
It's good motivation, man.
It is good motivation. I'm very family driven, and I love my wife, and I cannot wait till the day that we actually have kids. And I no longer have time for podcasting. That might make me cry.
And maybe the kids will do some podcasting with you. They'll love it.
So let me ask you this question: since we're talking about family, we're talking about personal lives. Has your job ever affected your relationship or home life?
Sure. Yeah, I think anybody in sales it has. You got to work a lot of hours. You just do to support your family and feed your family. And I think most people, when you're in a relationship like that, it's an understanding. Sometimes it's not, though, and that's okay. Sometimes it's okay to move on from things and move forward. And it doesn't mean that it's, I try to look at everything as a positive thing.
Mm-hmm.
You can look at anything negatively, and a lot of guys that work with us and stuff, they'll say this when I'm out looking at campers or whatever it is, which one's the best of this? Well, it depends on your situation. This one's the best or this one's the best. I mean, I can look, I know that it's kind of a rare thing that I have there. I think more people should look at things this way. Maybe it would make them feel better. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. See, but I'm really good at equivocating. But but there's always a positive to anything that you're in. You can look at it as a negative, or you can look at it as a positive. I think it's really easy to look at the bad side of things, and it's human nature. Something bad happens, you look at oh God, that's horrible. This sucks. It's almost like the universe is out to get me sometimes. You can look at things and start really getting down on stuff, or you can look at it like, that wasn't really an ideal situation. It wasn't great, but there's always growth out of everything. And if you look at things like that, I think it's for the better in life. So in that situation, sorry to distract from the question that you actually asked there.
No, it was good. I liked where you were going.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's sometimes it's tough, but if you have the right relationship and you're in the right situation, and people are going to understand.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, even like with me and my wife, I mean, we've had our struggles. She hates the long hours. She hates the not knowing if I'm going to get off on time or if I'm going to get off 3 hours late. I mean, and don't get me wrong, there's been days where I surprised her and came home early.
Right.
I mean, there's a give and take to every relationship, to every family. I mean, and you've got a daughter yourself,
I
right?
do, yes.
Okay, how old's your daughter?
She's 9. 9 years
okay.
old. Yep.
So, I mean, with that, I mean, same situation. I mean, how much time do you get to spend with your daughter outside of work?
Well, my situation is, not great there. I'm divorced, so I only get my daughter on the weekend. So, I wish I had her every single moment of every single day.
Yeah.
But I don't. So I could, focus on that and think, oh God, it's horrible. I don't get to see my kid, and it's sad. And I think anybody listening would think that too. And I'm not trying to put that, but I really enjoy the time I get with her.
Yeah.
And I always look at it like a thing, me personally, with my child, is I'm raising a human adult eventually. So I try to give her all the love and have fun with her. A lot of people, we live our lives and we live in a fast-paced society, and a lot of times kids, you have kids and you want kids and you love them. It's not that you don't love them, but I think a lot of people don't spend the time with their kids when they're little. I've always tried to do that. I've always tried to take her to the park, and I'll play with her. I do things with her, not just at her. Because it's easy as a parent to kind of buy your kids love in a way. You know what I mean? Where the kids wanting something, you get them a toy, and they're happy. It's a happiness. Their kids are little; they don't understand things. They play with this toy or an iPad or whatever it is. There's lots of different things that can keep a kid occupied for a while.
Yeah.
But I feel, in the long run, and when they're an adult and when they look back on things, it's that time that you spent with them, and that doesn't cost any money. So I think I always try to focus on that time that I spend with her and making it fun and doing fun things with her. And yeah, sometimes it gets hectic, and sometimes I get mad, and sometimes she gets mad. We're humans, but I try to make her life fun. And it actually makes me think of a John Lennon quote I remember reading a while back, where it was a lot of people, when they talk to little kids, what do you want to be when you grow up, Billy? Or, a lot of kids are going to say a doctor or a lawyer or a baseball player. I mean, probably not baseball anymore. You tell them old football player, whatever, but as parents, a lot of, we take a pride in that, like, oh, my kid wants to be a doctor, and you feel good about that. And like, ooh, Susie wants to be a doctor, and then you brag about it to your friends. But I've always read this John Lennon quote, and it's stuck in my head, and it's what I live my life by with my kid is, what do you want to be when you're older? And the answer to that I like to hear from my child is happy.
Absolutely.
Happy.
Who doesn't want to be happy?
Happy, because at the end of the day, all these different careers that we do and everything that we do in life, yeah, they're important. But if you're not happy, what's the point? So I try to make sure that my child is happy, and that's really all I care about.
No, I agree with you 100%. And we talked about this with Grant on episode 1. If you're not happy in your position, at work,
Right.
then you need to find something else.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I agree with that 100%, because if I wasn't happy getting up, going to work, and the drive I have to do that, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to make myself suffer and go to a job I hate.
Right. Because when you make yourself suffer like that, you're affecting other people. You may put like a on your back, you might put that weight of like, I hate this job, but like I gotta pay bills. So you put that weight on your back, right? And you're carrying that weight around with you, and you think you're doing the right thing, and in a way you are. You're not. You can't look someone at that and say and put them down for that because they're trying. But if you're carrying that weight around, you're gonna be unhappy, and then you're gonna make other people around you unhappy. Your children, your significant other. So you're affecting other people when you're unhappy too. So I think that's a big thing, is being happy in everything that you do, man. And that's really the secret to life.
Well, and I agree with that, because 100% of your attitude is contagious. So if you are super pumped up, you're super excited to start the day. Oh my gosh, guys, we're going to sell so many. We're going to have an awesome day. That is contagious.
Yes.
100%. I've seen it time and time again happen both ways, where somebody comes in a great mood, whether they bought donuts and brought coffee, or they walked in and it's raining on them and they're just in a terrible mood, and they go, well, today's gonna suck.
Yeah. Well, and we at work today, we had it. The weather's crappy. It's snowing. We could have totally went on that tangent, and it's easy to do. And some people, I think some people in the start of the day did have that attitude. I'd say it was probably about 50-50, honestly, from where I was talking around to everybody and early morning thing. And, one little spark of enthusiasm, positivity, whatever happened throughout the day, but we were on fire. Everybody was jumping around, firing on all cylinders and coming together as a team and being positive. So it's contagious as heck either way. So if you're out there and you're in that middle of that negative situation, man, try to be that light. Try to be that source of positivity.
Well, and I love it when our dealership is on fire. It saddens me when we're all like dragging our feet.
Right.
It does. It makes me sad, because I'm the energetic type. I'm the one who's always trying to like get things going, whether it's just stupid things like, or if it's like, hey, we got to go, we got customers, we got deals, we're working here, like whatever it is, I want the energy to be up.
Yeah. And we're all people, so it's easy. We all have our down days, man. So it's good. I think we've got a good group of different people, where if maybe this guy's down and this guy's down, or this person's down, and these people are up, you generally, we ended on positivity,
on good notes. Yeah.
So it's good to have that good team. Sometimes you can't do it all by yourself, and it's nice to have a good team with you, people that you can lift each other up when each other's down.
Absolutely, and that's one thing I love about our team, and discreetly, is because when one person's down, we honestly try and build that other person up. Whether it's the salesperson to sales manager, finance guys to BDC to, even getting into the shop part of it. We get into service. Somebody's having a bad day, they're going to be dealing with your customer. You're going to try and go pep them up before they go get your customer. Don't be
that person that kicks those people when they're down, because I've seen that too, where someone's down and then someone else kind of kicks them when they're down, and then it's negative all around. Don't be that. Go over, if someone's having a bad day, think of yourself like, oh man, it sucks that Joe's having a bad day. I've been there. I get it. And then go. Sometimes it's just a simple, hey, how's it going? Are you doing okay? Sometimes it's as simple that, and you could just light a fire of positivity around everybody by a simple, really just caring about your fellow employees.
Absolutely, and I love that factor. So let me ask you this: Have you ever hit a point of rock bottom? This is the part of the show where I like to call it bottom of the bottle.
Sure.
Have you ever hit that rock bottom point that you didn't think you were coming back from?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah. I was, I've got a daughter. We talked about that. And I went through a divorce. I told you previously that I was working for my ex-in-laws. So, after all that went down, I got terminated from my job due to that. and didn't get to see my child, wasn't making as much money. Man, I was down. I got in a relationship with a very toxic individual, and I hit rock bottom, and but I just kept moving forward. I always saw the light at the end of the tunnel. I knew I was down, and I knew things were not good, but I never gave up. I never gave up. I will never give up. I don't care what. I could lose both my legs, lose my sight. Yeah, I will never give up. I just won't. I'm not a quitter, and I don't think anybody out there should be. If you're feeling down, life sucks sometimes. It does. I don't care what anybody tells you. Life sucks sometimes, and you get to that rock bottom place. Just don't give up. You can't. Just push forward. Just like when you're in sale, man. When you're in a sale and the customer's telling you no, don't give up. Keep trying. Just keep pushing forward. Keep moving forward.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I'm going to quote my mom here real quick, because she told me this from the time I was probably 4 years old till now, and that's only because I can only remember till I was 4 years old. Life sucks and people are mean, and that was it. I heard that so many times growing up as a kid. Life sucks, people are mean, get over it. There's nothing you can do to really change it. You can only make better of that situation.
Right. You can't put your happiness on someone else.
Exactly.
Yep.
And with that, I mean, like, I hate people. I hate to say it that way, and I really don't. But I mean, like, there's so many people out there who have a negative attitude, and they can drag your entire team down. They can drag your entire day down. Even just one comment, you bump into somebody at the gas station on your way into work, and they're like, "Oh, watch yourself," and you're like, "You ran into me."
Yeah.
Like, it can ruin your whole day. Don't let it get you down. Don't let the negativity spread.
No. Yeah, because, a lot of times we've all been in that situation where someone cuts you off and you're like, it can ruin your day, like you just said there. But 9 times out of 10, I'll guarantee you, when that guy cuts you off or whatever, they forgot about it in 10, 15 minutes, and your day is ruined now from someone that's not even giving any more thought to it. It's just a thought. One of the best things I've ever read, when I was going through some struggles, I started doing some meditating, and one of the best things I ever learned about that helped me, because I used to get anxiety real bad, and I still get it sometimes, but if you're having anxiety or, those thoughts like that, if you picture your thoughts like a freeway, so each car that drives by is a thought, right? You can't stop those cars from coming. We can stand here all day long. You can't stop those cars from coming. They're going to come and go, and you can't do anything about it. When you have those negative thoughts, sometimes you can't stop them from coming. They're going to come in your head. It's going to pop up. What happens sometimes, though, is you try to hold on to that. And if you picture that negative thought like a car going down the road, you go over there, you try to grab onto that car, and you try to hold on to it as hard as you can, and you can't. You're not Superman. You can't stop that car. You can maybe slow it down. You give all your might. You can slow it down, but it's still moving, and you're putting so much focus and stress on that one thought. Just acknowledge that negative thought. Okay, I know it's there. It popped up. Acknowledge it. Pretend like it's a crystal glass, take a feather, touch it very gently, like, okay, there's that negative thought, and then let it go. Because you can't stop them. I had a lot of struggle with that with anxiety before, where, you get these negative thoughts sometimes and you want to stop it. I just want this to stop, and you can't. Sometimes, for some people. Now, some people might be able to. Me personally, I can't. So when I still get negative thoughts. I think we all do. You get these negative thoughts. Sometimes this self-confidence of like, oh man, I just can't do it, or I screwed up, or whatever. Just acknowledge that and let it go. Don't hold on to it. Just let it go.
Wow. That's intense, and I love that, because it is so true. I mean, I have anxiety, and I mean we've talked about that. And my anxiety, like, I'm even on medication for it, because my anxiety is intense. And to be able to think about it that way, it's so true. Like, I cannot stop the moving car. Yeah. I just need to acknowledge it, let it go.
Let it go.
Quit trying to hold on to it. Quit trying to hold on to those bad, negative parts of your day, of your life, and let it go. Wow. Thank you, Jim.
And then, no problem, man. That helped me a bunch. It's amazing, the little things. And sometimes you get semis that drive by, and you try to,
I've
you
been
know,
hit by a couple of them.
I've been hit too. But so get hit by it and let it keep going. You know, don't hold on to it. That's it, and it's easy to say like that. But if you practice, you know, a lot of people, if you got anxiety out there, try doing some meditation or some. I know I'm gonna get made fun of, but I do some yoga too. Anything that you can clear your mind and just take that moment, or just breathe. There's different breathing exercises you can do. You know, just take a breath. Let that thought move on and just move on with your day, and just remember that, you know, you just don't give up. You got to keep moving forward, and it's all going to be okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that was one thing, you know, dealing with anxiety and being in sales, because sales can cause anxiety.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, when I would have like just either I'd be swamped, or I'd have just that customer just chewed me out, or, you know, I'd just be having a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
One of the only things I could do is walk the lot and breathe.
Yeah.
And I just, no matter what it is, make a quick lap around the lot.
Mm-hmm.
Don't take a whole lot of time, because if you're busy, obviously you can't do that. Just take some time, clear your head, kind of like you were saying, just kind of get in your zone, and then go back and deal with what you got to deal with. You know, that quick little moment will do so much for you. It is insane in your performance, because you're not just going to sit there. You feel like you've got a further away breaking point. I mean, from snapping on a customer who's chewing your head off, whatever it is. That's just what I always feared, was at any point this customer is going to chew my head off.
Right.
Guys, let me go check on that for you real quick. Quick lap. 2 minutes at the most.
Yep.
And you get back in control.
Well, I one really good word that you said there that I like is moment. Mm-hmm. You know, it is just a moment sometimes to ruin a day, a week, a month, a year, or a life. So just remember, it's like we said earlier about the little baby steps, man. It's just one little moment. So sometimes we have bad moments. It's going to happen. I'm going to have another bad moment. I'm never going to just not have bad moments. So, but how many times in sales have you got that where you get that sale, like say first thing in the morning, and then you sell 4 or 5 in one day, and you're just like, right? And then you get that day where you don't sell one, or you go a week without selling one, and you just get that negative mentality. You get those thoughts. You're trying to hold on to those cars. So just remember that each little moment is just a moment. It's just that it's not stuck with you all day. So, you know, because it's so funny to me to see where, you know, you could see a guy when you're walking around in any dealership, you can see a guy who's on fire. You could see it in his movements. You could walk. I could walk into a car dealership or anywhere and be like, that guy's having a good week. Mm-hmm. Like, just try to have that all the time. Yeah. You know, and it's hard, but just try.
Well, and like we hear all the time, and I 100% agree with it. Because that guy is on fire, he has a better chance to sell another one.
Absolutely.
Because it's that transfer of emotion.
Yep.
I mean, like, he's already excited. He is having a great week. And if you can just master that, even if it's not 100% genuine, if you can just give that emotion off, that you're having a great time, mm-hmm. and you're excited that customer is there, you're going to do better.
And there's like a fine line there too of like not just the excitement, because like let's say you sell 2 right off the bat, right? You're gonna feel great for the rest of the day. You could have somebody come in and chew you out, and it's not gonna affect you because you're gonna relate back to that. I sold 2. You almost get to a point, I think, when you're on like a hot streak like that where you don't care. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, not that you don't care, but you just don't care. You don't care about that no, or you don't care about the defeat. Let's say that you care. But you don't care about that because you're like, all right, well, I already sold 2, so I'll just move. You know, this guy came in, he's a jerk to me. I'm just going to move on to the next one. I already sold 2. Even if I don't sell any more today, I'm great. If you can just harness that thought process, that pattern of like not caring if you hear the no, you know, you're going to hear no's. You're in sales, like you're going to hear no's. Just don't care. Don't let it affect you. Just don't care. Like, okay, well, this guy, I couldn't help this guy out. I tried. No problem. Next person, I'm not going to take that. You know, someone comes in and tells you off and you're getting mad about it, and you're like, guy was a jerk, man, I'm so mad. Then the next customer comes in and you still got that, and you're, you know, even though you're trying to hide it back, like, can I help you? Or, you know, you're gonna have that animosity and anger in the back of your head, in the back of your tone of your voice and everything, where, you know, people are going to feel that they don't know you. It's the first time they met you. They may be like, you know, what's this guy's problem? You know, or you just got told off by somebody. They don't know that. So just try to you know, I think as a salesperson, one of the best things is to try to have a bad memory.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The more you can have a bad memory and almost amnesia, like we talked before.
Yeah. What?
Well, let me tell you how today's different.
Yeah. Someone told me off earlier. I don't remember that. It's must have been yesterday.
You were talking to the other Jim.
Yeah. Almost like an alter ego, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
me.
I mean, if you can have that non-complacentness that we were talking about earlier, I mean, if you can come in and just every time you greet a customer, it's almost picture perfect every single time,
mm-hmm.
and you can get excited, you can have that transfer of emotion, you can be on fire even, as long as you're doing the same steps of the process every single time. And making sure you're not just giving up early because you think you're hot.
Right.
Stuff, you know, like
yep.
you've got to be able to keep going, because with me, it didn't matter if I had sold 5 that morning. I'm still like, it's only noon.
Right. I'm going to sell 10.
Let's sell. I'm stuck here till 5, 6 o'clock at night anyways.
Yep.
Let's sell 6 more, you know, like let's keep going. I was always excited to sell more.
Oh yeah.
Like I never wanted to stop.
No.
Like the more I could, the better I was.
Well, and I think as a good salesperson, you kind of know that, you know, you're in that hot streak. So you're like, you know,
mm-hmm.
I know if I sold 5 in the morning, I have a way better chance of selling more in the afternoon than if I sold 0.
Oh yeah.
But if we can just remember that, almost, hey, when you wake up in the morning, if you haven't sold anything and it's afternoon, pretend like you sold 5 that morning. Think of that in your head and like really believe it. Like kind of play yourself out. Like, I sold 5 this morning. Like what would I be feeling if I sold 5 right now this morning? And kind of take that, you know. I think that's what a lot of like football teams probably do when they're losing and at halftime, when they come in after half, is like, you know, kind of have that mindset of like, we're not losing, we're actually winning. Kind of same kind of thought process there.
Same thought process. Okay, so let me ask you this: at what lengths would you go to make a sale?
Oh yeah, we hit on that one before. I would do a lot more than most people. Probably to make a sale. I do a lot of stuff now that, and I do the BDC stuff and the internet stuff. So I definitely don't get nearly the chunk if I help sell something than I do if I was a full salesperson. And it kind of disappoints me sometimes when I do more than like what I'm seeing a guy that's making money, you know, say 50 times the amount of money of what I'm making on something, and they're not trying. So I will go to pretty far extremes.
Jim, you've sent nudes to sell a camper before. You have. I can see it in your face right now.
I have worked on some old ladies. I have we said this before. I have flirted with some men to get a sale, and like I said this with you before, I'm not. People have their own beliefs and everything. I don't care what life you live. I will never judge anybody by this. But you know, I myself am straight, but I'm not afraid to flirt with the guy to try to get a sale if I think it's going to help me get a sale. I'm not afraid to do that.
Well, and I mean, the craziest thing I've ever done, and it wasn't even like super like, oh my gosh, crazy. It was just a funny story. So my brother, he lived about 3 hours away, and he called me and he said, "Hey, a guy I work with really needs a car. Can you help him out?" And I said, "Absolutely. You know, send him my way. Like I'll take care of him." I don't know what just happened. We just kind of freaked out there for a second.
UFOs.
It was the aliens. My brother called me and he said he had a guy he worked with. He needed a car,
mm-hmm.
and I was like, okay, yeah, you know, send him my way, no problem. I'll help him out. And we worked the deal. I find the car he wants, and he was like, okay, I've got 2 mandatory things you have to do for me to buy this car. I said, oh, okay, no big deal. He was just like, 1, you have to deliver it to me 3 hours away. But I was like, it's cool. I'll go see my brother. No big deal.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. And he said, 2, you have to come play D&D with me. I was like, okay. I haven't played D&D since I was like, 14. Like I'm a grown man now. And I was like, sure, let's do it. He was the dungeon master.
Yes.
And it was a lot of fun. I can't knock him for it because I did, like, me and my brother and all them, like, we had a group. There was probably like 6 or 7 of us. And we played for like 3 or 4 hours straight. Like it was awesome. I can't knock it.
That's how hard it is to get someone to play D&D though. You got to literally offer to buy a car. So if you're out there, support your local D&D members, guys.
Yeah. If you support your local dungeon master. But no, I did. I had a really good time. I told him I'd come back and do it again. I seriously may do that, but it's probably going to be another couple of years for.
I'm up for some D&D. Like, you get some people together, man. I'm game. I'll play.
Okay, well,
I'll do it tonight.
My brother is the guy to talk to. He is very, very into it. He even created dice boxes. Okay, so in D&D you've got different dice and you've got different things. He actually builds in his house boxes that hold your dice. You can roll them. They hold your character, pens, paper, pencils, whatever it is you use. And I think they're really cool. They're really like custom. I mean, you
That's
get
pretty
designs on. I thought it was awesome. Yeah. And I'm really trying to help him get that going, just because it's on an order basis. Like, what you want customized, you do it. He builds it.
Well, what's I just went to the bookstore this weekend with my daughter and saw they have a Stranger Things. You seen Stranger Things?
Yeah, I love Stranger Things.
They had a Stranger Things Dungeons and Dragons version.
Well, that's weird. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I think that whole show kind of brought Dungeons and Dragons back a little bit. So let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, all right, Jim. So let's wrap this up. I want to give you just a couple minutes. Give me your best motivational speech to a new salesperson or a struggling salesperson in their field. What can you give me?
My best advice to that I've always lived by is be honest. I see so many new salespeople come up and they've got good charisma, good character. They're good people, and lots of potential. I see so much potential in a lot of people that come through, and I'm like, all right, this guy's going to be good. And then sometimes they, go out to the customer and they're new, so they feel awkward and they end up lying to a customer. Guys, in general anyways, I'm a big believer in not lying, but in sales, especially in the society we live in now, where people have that every bit of information they need right there if they need to look it up, don't lie. When you do that, you are killing yourself on a deal. So it's very easy as a new salesperson to just say, look, hello, Mr. and Mrs. Customer. My name's Jim. I just want to let you know right up front that I'm new. I'm going to do everything I can to help you out. I'm going to try to find all your answers. If I don't know something, I'm going to write it down and I'm going to find out for you. And there is not any customer out there that's going to be rude to you. If they're rude to you for that, then they're not going to buy anything anyway, man. Don't look at that as a defeat. If you do come across some situation like that, let it go. Mm-hmm. But if you straight up tell a customer to that, and then you're out showing them cars or campers or boats or whatever you're selling, and you're out there showing these things, and you say that to a customer, and they say, well, hey, Jim, does it have this on it? And you say, look, remember, guys, I told you I'm new. I really don't know that for you, but I'm going to write it down, and I will find out when we go back to the sales tower or the sales manager or wherever your setup is, and then go through, continue talking to them, and then go find, even if they forget about it, find that information out. So when you go back up, say, hey guys, remember you asked me how big the fresh water tank was on this thing? I found out for you it's 46 gallons. If you do that, 1, you're going to learn. 2, you're showing your integrity. And 3, that customer is more than likely going to, if they're ready to buy, they're going to buy from you. So, but if you go out there and they say, hey, what's the size of the fresh water tank on this camper? And you don't know, and you just say 70 gallons, whatever number you make up, you are doing yourself and that customer such an injustice. So just that's my biggest advice for new salespeople, and probably struggling as well. More than likely, if you're struggling, you might be going down that route, or maybe you got some other personal issues that you're bringing to work with you. But that's gonna be my biggest thing, man. Just don't lie. Just be honest. Just be honest. It's really easy, and you can sell anything off of just being honest with the customer. You really can.
Absolutely. And I mean, honesty is always the best policy.
Yep.
And if you are new, I can tell you right now, if you're new, I I had a general manager who told me when he started in car sales, he told his customers that he was new for almost 2 years. He said that will break down walls so fast because you tell them you're new and be honest about it. If you really don't know, don't make up an answer.
Right.
If you know the answer, obviously answer it, but don't make up an answer. Don't lie to these customers because I've had customers who ask the question just to see if I was lying.
Yeah.
They want to know how honest you are. Don't lie to the customers. Tell them that you don't know, but you will get that answer for them.
And I think that kind of circles around completely to where we started off with of the product knowledge. You know, we all as salespeople want to appear to be an expert. We do. And customers expect that as well when they're coming in. They expect an expert. But when you explain to them that you're not an expert, it's okay. They're not going to just say, "Oh, you know, I'm not going to deal with this guy. He doesn't know." You know, if you're honest with them and say that, you're going to come full circle back around to, you know, I'm finding this answer out, then go find it out. Then you're going to slowly become an expert, and you're going to eventually be that expert that you want to be.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That to me, this is a perfect way to end the episode. Jim, thank you so much for being on the show today. I want to go ahead and give one last shout out to Public House on this Elusive can.
Elusive.
It is elusive, and as well as the
Steep Drop
Steep
by Boulevard.
Drop by Boulevard. Both of those Missouri brewed. Guys, thank you so much. Be sure to like, comment, share on this. Tell us what you think about the episode. If you've got any questions you want for us, we'll try and answer them on the next one. Until then, guys, thank you. Good night.
Helping the customer buy. Helping him to know the product. Helping him see sales features that he, in turn, can use to sell them. That's part of selling. How well could you do it?